Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Cosmic Conversations. I'm your host, Marla Martenson, and today we have a super interesting, exciting session, show. We've got a few ladies here who are super mystical, and we're going to be getting messages from the divine. We're going to be working on this magical device that my good friend Linda Deir and her hubby Ray have created with their spirit guides. And we're going to be moving to each person and showing you how this works. But I'm going to let Linda explain exactly what this is before we jump into talking to the guides. Hey, Linda.
Hey, say it again.
And so I'm going to talk about Ask the Universal Channel for starters. The way that these gals found me originally, the three teachers, these are the teachers of Ask the Universal Channel on our private Facebook group, private Facebook group, Ask the Universal Channel. If any of you want to join it, just go there and ask to join, and Ray's the gatekeeper. He'll let you know what the rules of the game are to get in. All right. But these teachers teach on Ask the Universal Channel weekly. They took the month of June off, but weekly, to teach the new members and the existing members and anybody in the group how to use Ask the Universal Channel the right way. Okay, Ray and I spent a couple of years with these three gals, just like this on Zoom, just like you'll be learning on Zoom, to master its use, to help them when they were in the rough stages. Remember the rough stages, Marla? When
when it wouldn't go, when it wouldn't move. Yeah, on my own.
What's wrong with this damn thing,
Broken.
and we just figured it was just nonsense. But they got through that pretty quickly because they stuck it out and they hung in there and they came every week. They showed up every week, and practice makes perfect, right, Marla?
Absolutely. It took me about 8 months to get on it. I have several boards, and I also have your board, which I love, but it took me until I got my energy right. I was attuned to some different energy healing frequencies and stuff but we'll talk about all of that, because
that's good.
Yeah, the way you teach, because some people will say that, I can't get it going on my own. And for me, it was the energy that had to be right. And I'd love to hear, about from the other ladies. Yeah.
Here's how these gals really pulled this off. They worked together behind the scenes between the time that Ray and I were working with them to figure it out. In fact, the system that they're going to use today, where you ask a question and the three of them independently channel the message, this was something they came up with. It was brilliant, because I'll tell you who was the troublemaker. There's always a troublemaker, right? It was Joy. Joy was the troublemaker. Joy came in and said, wait a second, what about this information that's coming through? How do we know this is for real? Is this a bunch of nonsense? Joy was very adamant about making sure the information she was getting was not coming from her. It wasn't nonsense coming through. And this is how it came about. Joy's the one that pressured the three of them to move this way. Of course, it's guidance, right? And they showed up with Ray and I and said, this is how we're doing it now. I'm like, yes, I love these guys. And they worked with it, and they figured it out. And really, that's how they work with the people they teach now, is from what they bumped into in this group together, teaching and learning with each other. And all that Ray and I were the guideposts that once a week, when we'd get together, we'd help them get through the little nigglies, the little, what the heck is this, and how do we interpret that, and what's this, and and all that. So, and we pushed them too. We pushed their limits, and they succeeded every time. They were right there blasting through it. Okay, now they're really good. Okay,
yeah.
So 2 of them use a pendulum, and because this is optimized for the use with a pendulum, and 1 of them uses the planchette, the speller. All right. So we've got a variety of ways they found their own way. But in short, Ask the Universal Channel came about from my first channeling session in December of 1988, when my guides came through and told me they needed a new talking board. They needed one that didn't cause fear and caution. They needed one where they could reach people on a higher level to navigate them through the challenging times to come. And they needed me to teach them how to use this the correct way. Hence, there's our Ask the Universal Channel Facebook group.
And I love it. It's thin. It's more of a plastic that's pliable. You can put it in your purse and your suitcase and take it with you. It's not some big cardboard thing that you have to lug around. You can whip it out and get a message anywhere. And I've done it even on airplanes, like whipped it out and thought, oh, I think I'll talk to my spirit guides right now. And in airports in Europe, I was doing it in Barcelona even. My husband was looking at me next to me, but we were sitting kind of away from other people. But we had like a 2-hour layover. So I was like doing the Universal Channel.
And you were looking for someone interesting to talk to.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
We have this. This is the official version, the one that Ray and I use professionally. All right.
Yeah.
But then we've got the paperback version for people outside of the United States. We don't ship this out of the US. It gets ripped off all the time. Yeah. And so it's the same exact scale and size, paperback version. And then we've got the online version, which you have to have a login, and you get in and you can play with it on your phone.
Yeah, that's fun.
Using the pendulum is a pointed pendulum. It's perfect for this. So using a pendulum with a point on it, you can really see what they're speaking to you about. So you can even use your finger. Marla, you don't need this.
I've used my finger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It all comes through. And then, you get it telepathically now, right, Marla?
Yes. I don't even go to the letters. I do it like you guys. It's just, I don't look. Right. I don't even go to the letters. But it's a focus point for me.
Exactly, Marla.
It comes through. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And what the guides have called this is the training wheels.
Right.
To open up your intuitive muscles, to get them working again. And so you can begin to trust the information is coming through you and not from you. All right.
It does. It's phenomenal for that. It opens up so you can start channeling and receiving those messages through your brain.
Here's another way. If I really, in my case, I'm going to tell on myself. When I need to know something about something I'm doing, all right, and I can't seem to connect with it, I'm just going, dang it, I'm not having a dream about it. I'm not connecting with it. I go, Ray, get over here and sit down. Sit with me. Okay.
Stay.
And I go, I need to talk to the guides for a minute. And they come through in 5 minutes, blah, 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 and I'm done. Okay. And why is that? Because I'm in my own way. I'm too invested in the answer to be able to connect with it myself because I want to know what it is so much, right? So when I bring Ray in, he's not invested in that answer. In fact, I don't even tell him the question until he sits down and we're going. So, so I know it's a pure answer. All right.
But Linda, you were getting messages from your guides since you were a little girl, and you weren't using any board or any tools. They were just coming in, right? But
once this came into play, Marla, like this is 31 years old as of this year.
Yeah.
Once this came into play, this is so. What's the word for it? It's so engaging. Like when I want to know something, the guides, they'll come in and they'll show me something, and then I see what it is and what I need to do and where I need. This gets me past the part of needing to be patient.
Right.
This gets me right to the answer that I'm needing to understand. All right.
Yeah.
A lot of times I call it a personal development tool because it's really about getting it right here. If you get it right here, everything in your life is going to work out. So that's where it might be a place where I go every now and then, even though I've had this connection. This is like on command.
Yeah, it does. It is. It goes right away.
So we're going to open this session, Marla, Ray and I, with their the guides, opening message for today's interview with the 3 teachers of Ask the Universal Channel and you. And here they go.
Hello, we come in truth and love. To us, they are the same. We want you to know that everyone here today has incredible ability to feel our energy coming through. You are all past the point of being afraid of what's coming through or what the message will be. Will it be good or bad? No, it's always good in the fact that it is neither. It's energy being summoned into existence and translated into a message. Any fear is eliminated in this process. It is a two-way conversation with us, and you have nothing to fear. The fact that you have mastered this process tells us that you are ready for much more, as much as we can give you at any time.
All right.
Beautiful. Now I have a question that people might be wondering, viewers. So, the guides were saying this is a two-way conversation. There's nothing to fear. Now, you guys, the same as me, we've been doing it so long, we jump in and we start connecting with the guides. But many people who maybe are curious about using this kind of a tool, but they have a little bit of fear from what they've been told by society, the movies, the church. They might say, yeah, but don't you have to protect yourself? Or what if a demon comes through? Or what if you...
Let's let them answer that.
Okay,
I
we'll let
love
them
that
answer
question. And that's a great question. Marla, here they go.
When you are connecting with us, there is no room for any other spirit or spirits to enter. We command the channel of information, and fear has no place. To us, the only thing that fear does is to help you prioritize.
Huh.
How do you interpret that? To prioritize, to choose your poison.
Choose which way you're going to go.
Yeah. I mean,
people have too many choices.
Well, here's what happens. They've been programmed, like you said. And that's really it. I mean, people have been massively programmed away from the use of tarot cards, talking boards, pendulums.
Automatic writing.
Automatic writing. They call all of that, bastardly, stuff. And it all stems from control. All of it. It all stems from not wanting
us to connect connect personally. Yeah.
That they want us to be dependent on some outer source, and it's worked. It's been brilliant. I mean, this used to be really popular in the 1800s.
Yes.
Before
mid 1800s. Yes.
Yeah, in the mid 1800s is when the in Europe, even the clergy was using it all the time. Okay. And they stood back and said, wow, we can't have that. That takes our power away. So we've got to we've got to, demonize the thing. We've got to make it a curse or something bad for people, including the cards. The 52 card deck's the same thing. It was the original tarot card deck. Well, they turned it into a game that with the Ouija board. This is no game. This is never sold as a game. And they turned it into a toy, taking the actual original use away from it. Right. And then they had their control back. That's how it works.
Exactly. And especially the board is demonized more than anything else. And so it's interesting because people aren't worried that like a demon can come through a tarot card or a pendulum, but they're somehow think it can come through. That's a portal, just a piece of plastic or cardboard with the alphabet on it. so
it's ridiculous. I know. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And that is a good way to look at it, Marla, I think.
Yeah, we have so much fun with it, everybody who's watching, that we don't have any negativity around it. It's just
not at all.
Beautiful messages. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to ask a question to all of these three beautiful blondes here.
I know, they're all blonde.
Yes, I know. All right, and then you guys, so everybody's going to, all three ladies are going to go on the board themselves and get a message about the same question, and then they're going to share, and we'll see how this connects and works. All right. So when humans ask about their life purpose, what advice do you have? Because when we're coaches or if we're giving readings or anything like that, a common question people want to know, well, why am I here? What's my life purpose? What's my purpose? So I'd like to know what the guides have to say about the purpose of us humans being here.
Okay, so they have this, right? You guys all heard that?
So we're watching them here, and they're muted, and
we're
seeing how they work. We've got two ladies with pendulums going back and forth. Now, I've never been able to use a pendulum because I feel it goes too slow for me personally. So I go with the planchette, but a lot of people love using the pendulum. And look at, now that's interesting, the one over, the one going around. I think she must be getting it telepathically.
She is. She definitely is.
Just the pendulum. Oh, so I could do that then. I can be getting it telepathically with the pendulum. I'm going to try that.
Right. And then Joy at the top.
Look at her go.
These girls are hot. They are. They're so good.
So you see people watching, viewers, you can be doing this too and getting these astounding messages from your spirit guides. And now when you and Ray were giving the opening message, that was your spirit guides giving everybody the message, right? But when we go on our own, it's our own spirit guides speaking.
Right, exactly.
So you see, everyone, you don't have to go to each letter slowly and spell it all out. The letters there are a focus point for your pendulum or your planchette, and then what you're really doing is getting this information telepathically. You begin to hear it inside your head silently.
And on our Facebook page, Ask the Universal Channel, you can see on previous videos, going back to previous videos, when you click on videos on the left, you can see where they started from. You'll see how they struggled in the beginning. I mean, these guys are on fire. But when they were first doing it, they were, going through the frustration stage. And there is a learning curve without a doubt. But when you have a group like this, it's a private group. When you have a group like this to work in and those women to teach you, you got this thing. All you have to do is show up and they'll work you through your little, hang-ups and stuff like we worked them through.
How long would you say it took them, Linda, before they were at this level?
At this level, a year. Mm-hmm. Would you say, Ray?
Year and a half. And what made it all work was technology, because when they all first started, the biggest problem with everybody in the group was they couldn't find a channeling partner near where they lived.
Right. And so this made it possible. They never even met each other until 2 years after we taught them. And then they showed up for one of my live events in Phoenix. Oh. They all came here. and they met each other. It's the first time we met them in person.
Yeah, and don't let that keep you from trying it when we say a year or 2 years, because it goes by fast and it's so much fun. And it took me 8 months to be able to do it on my own. Back in 2014, I worked with the talking board, and I just tried it a little bit every day. It's not like it's 8 hours a day for 2 years or anything like that. It's I can sit there 10 minutes or something a day.
And you did it pretty much on your own.
Yes. Well, first I had a friend doing it with me, and then I wanted to do it on my own because I had questions. I didn't want to have my friend come over every time I wanted to talk to my spirit guides. I desperately wanted to connect with my spirit guides on my own. So I did whatever I learned, and it was for me those energetic, the Reiki being the attunements. I had about 3 or 4 different energetic attunements over a couple of years' time, and it started opening up that channel for me. And then the practice, Reiki helps.
Reiki really helps with that.
Yeah.
That subtle energy. And that trusting yourself. That's the biggest thing. When the information comes through, it comes through all the time. But when you sit down and then you hear them talk, you go, well, that's been coming through. Yeah, I remember feeling that an hour ago.
Now, at first, I will say, when I was first learning, it was going to each letter separately.
Right.
That's how it went for me, each letter slowly, separately, and then started going faster. And then I started just doing it like that. It's not even going to any particular letter, and it was coming through telepathically. So it was a process.
Like a block of information, of information.
You could just hear it. Yeah.
You know, yeah, that's exactly right. You don't know even why you know it. It's the coolest feeling.
Yes, it's beautiful. And then I can even go now, I can go off the board and automatic type on my computer, type up the message, it flows through. But I'll start on the board to get me going. I'll start
Marla,
and then move on to the computer and type it.
Yeah, get it flowing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's one thing I noticed about the whole process, it's really disruptive when you get interrupted. The phone rings, someone's knocking on the door. It's like, it seems really loud. For me, it seems really loud. It's like, please, I wish that didn't have to happen right now, when in my moment, in that moment. Okay, it looks like those guys are ready to go. Almost. Okay. Veronica's almost done. I mean,
Kathy.
Kathy at the bottom. Yeah, Kathy.
Yeah.
So if you want to start with one of them.
All right. So Joy, do you want to give us your message?
Sure. Usually when we start, we've started seeing what comes through. We were directed to see what comes through telepathically before we actually channel. And my telepathic messages are very, very brief. Generally, they do sum it up, but without the information that I get, I might not get it, But I use the planchette. I just find it faster for me. And what I got was telepathically, you are already there. And that was the telepathic answer to what advice do you have when people ask, what is my purpose? And then in channeling, I got, it is important that people know that they are already on their path. Their purpose is to follow their path. No matter where it leads, they are learning and experiencing and following. They should not be so concerned about what their path is. It is about what they learn while on it.
I love it. Do you see this? Is this awesome, Marla?
This is awesome.
Oh, my
all right.
gosh.
It's beautiful. And okay, Veronica.
Okay. So I got channeled information has great advice for humans' life purpose because it comes from the same source as human life. We tell people to pay attention to the clues constantly being sent their way as received through feelings, songs, thoughts, and in many ways. Just pay attention.
I love it.
Very good.
Okay, Kathy.
All right, my telepathic answer was, the answer will be different for everyone. And with the pendulum, they said, anyone who is asking about their life purpose is already on their spiritual path. They're getting guidance telling them to wonder why they're here. The fact that they're asking why they are here validates that they're on their spiritual journey. Everyone has a different purpose that they have come to Earth School to learn. So everyone will have a different answer to this question.
That's
Okay.
perfect. Now, do you
Yeah.
see how these connect, Marla?
Yes, absolutely. And they all have a little bit of a twist on it, a little bit of different info for people. Yeah.
Right. So now that was a pretty general question you asked, Marla. Okay. So you're getting, whatever you put in is what you get back.
We can ask a more specific.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Here we go. Now I'm going to show the viewers how, if you want to get a reading with Linda and Ray, or with these ladies, if they're given with these gals, or
they're
anybody
into a business with it. Yeah.
Yes. So they're all available for that. So I'm going to pretend I'm somebody I'll get a little message here. So I'll get to show you how it works. So with this, so I've been a matchmaker for 20 years now. Phenomenal business. With this coronavirus, the matchmaking has stopped to a halt for the past 3-4 months. Nothing. So I've been working on a lot of other projects, but I'm getting a coaching certification, a 1-year life coaching certification, very comprehensive, very exciting. It's going to be ready in the fall. And I want to know from the guides, is this going to be my new direction? Is the matchmaking going to pick back up? What do the guides see for me as far as career-wise?
Okay, that would be
going
the
forward.
Yeah,
that'd be what do the guides see for me career-wise?
That's a nice, juicy, meaty question. That's really good. All right. And that was a great question, Marla. That gets right to the heart of it. And when somebody comes to us or you or any of the girls in a coaching session, that's exactly what they want to know. Where am I?
Well, in most coaching sessions, the career questions are pretty popular. And now with the coronavirus situation, they're even more popular because they're really scared.
Yeah, career and love are the two things I get when I, because I work a couple of psychic hotlines as well. Yeah, and that's been really fun. And most of the readings are love, but some career as well. And you guys look at what's next to Linda, guided. Look at that image. That is her spirit guide. She took a picture of one Christmas, right? You took your camera and you captured that.
Yeah, in 1994, Christmas time, they showed up right there in the room, 7 foot tall, lit the whole room up. And I happened to have my camera, my Nikon, and I snapped off the photograph. And I've seen them since I was a baby. So I looked at the people in the room and I said, did you guys see that? And their answer is always, see what, right? They didn't see it. And I thought, well, maybe I saw it or maybe I didn't, but I snapped off the photograph. So we'll find out when I get home. And when I got home, I had the film developed. That was film days. And I had a dream a couple of weeks later, and they come to me in my dream and I'm lucid. And I asked them, why did you let me take your photograph this time? I've seen them since I was a baby. They said, you're going to write a best-selling book about your relationship with us since you were a little girl. And we appeared so the world could believe. I wrote the book 20 years later.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's beautiful.
And it's been a bestseller since the day it came out.
It has. It's been a bestseller in at least 3 categories all the time.
5.5 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And won the International Body, Mind, Spirit Book Award.
Right there.
in
Wow,
5 years.
Ray's so proud of you,
Yeah,
Linda.
the marketing department has to get something in here. 5 years ago, Linda was an unknown, first-time self-published author. She couldn't get a publisher. She couldn't get an agent to return any phone calls. She had no uh, contacts in the literary world at all, and so decided to do it on your own. She sat down and started writing her true life story. And from that point, 5.5 years ago, where nobody even knew who she was, till today, lindadeir.com, her website, is now the world's #1 most popular, most highly engaged website for any spiritual writer.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, she's been amazing her whole life doing stuff with what you've been through, Linda, what you've gone through. You guys have to read that book, Guided, and see what challenges she had from the day she came into this world and what she's done with it to inspire all of us.
It just gave me many lifetimes of gratitude. I mean, getting through that childhood and coming out, getting all of it like I did, I was a setup for success, and I didn't even realize it, So it's just amazing. I don't know. I'm humbled by it. I've got so much gratitude around it.
All right, so let's get to the messages. Kathy, why don't you go first?
Okay. So telepathically, I got, Marla, you're evolving and growing, and so is your livelihood. And with the pendulum, I got, Marla will not be doing matchmaking as much. She is evolving into a more spiritually aligned path. Marla will find the coaching business to be more spiritually aligned and will be a better fit for her spirituality.
Beautiful.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Wow, Kathy.
Wow. All right, Veronica.
Okay. Let's see. They said, Marla, people still want to be matched, even though they currently are afraid of relationships. Could you combine the life coaching to prepare people for matching better quality matching their improved state of being?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Better
absolutely.
matching their improved state of being. Okay.
Right. They'll be more healthy to find a partner to have once I coach them.
Right.
So were you thinking about it in that way, Marla, merging the two?
Well, yeah, the coaching, so the men are my paying clients now. It's the upscale, more affluent men and the beautiful women, the millionaire matchmaking. That's what I've been in for 2 decades. The women don't pay to join. So there's all these amazing women that I've known some of these women for 20 years. When I first got in as a matchmaker, they're still single. These wonderful, beautiful ladies, and they can definitely use some coaching. And this coaching that I'm going to be doing is specializing in boundaries, which just helps in all areas of our lives. And it's a 12-week program. And I feel that if I take them through this, they will. I went through the coaching as well in this program, and I've seen how my relationship, I'm married, but I've seen how that shifted, and a lot of things in my life shifted just in those 12 weeks. So I'm excited to help these ladies shift. A man could go through it too, but I'll probably be working with more women, and then I'll be able to introduce a lot of these ladies to my men. And
that's interesting.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
We'll see.
The women will be more mysterious. You're done with them. Huh?
More mysterious. That's great. Yeah. Hi, Joy. All right. I'm excited to hear your take.
What they said is, Marla is becoming a source of information for many. She will be able to use her unique talents to assist others with life lessons of dating in the new normal. She will assist with connecting others when there is little connection. Unique issues will result from separation that Marla will be instrumental in assisting others to navigate. But
Wow.
telepathically, all I got was combination.
Yep. And that's what Veronica got, combination. And Kathy kind of got that too, but a little bit less of the matchmaking and more of the coaching.
Right.
Oh, cool.
Right.
I missed it all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but you can she's going to have, when Marla gets us up, then you can watch the whole thing and you won't miss nothing then.
Yeah.
Joy.
Oh, that was very good.
That was very good. And I feel, just feeling what these girls came up with, it just feels right. And you know, Marla, it's a good thing that you've been working in the spiritual realm now for how long? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, many years.
2014 is what you said, right?
Well, that was when I started with the board, but I was doing a lot of spiritual work since I was in my late 20s, years ago, in that late, like 89, 90, I started with the metaphysical stuff. But like 2013, I started getting into 2013, 14, started getting into the crystals, the board, the pendulum, the candle magic, all that, the more witchy stuff, I guess. The more, before it was more of the metaphysical law of attraction, the science of mind, the Course in Miracles study, and then that got it. So it was like this progression. Oh, and then I started learning about 2 years ago how to read the tarot cards, which I'm loving. So it's just more and more and more. It just unfolds.
Right. You've been moving with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How does it feel to you, Marla?
Oh, it feels phenomenal. I mean, I just feel as the years go by, and I'm in the crone stage now, I feel more powerful and that I have more to offer. And at first it was funny because back in like 2013, 14, I was studying with these different spiritual masters or big teachers that I'd call them here in Los Angeles. And I was kind of almost intimidated. I was like in awe almost, like, oh my gosh, I'd even go on YouTube and see like a woman teaching about crystals. And I thought, oh my gosh, how does she knows enough to get on YouTube and teach about crystals? Like the things that I can do now that so easily that I wouldn't think second thought. Like I'd say, oh, okay, look, we've got some selenite here. This is great for, I would easily, but back then I was like, wow. And my teachers, I was like, oh, and now after all these years of me learning and getting my certifications and get connected with the spirit guides and all of this, I'm like, I feel like there's still things I can learn from people, and I still take different workshops and things. And, but I don't feel like that, oh, you're so above me anymore. I stepped more into that, my own spiritual power, I guess.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
And there's something about this whole conversation. It's a conversation that comes through. And there's something about it that's just so loving. It's not just like getting information, and there it is. It's loving. You feel it come through, and it might even be something that it's kind of hard for you to accept at the time. Some of the information that comes through, it's not always going to be convenient, right? But you can feel the love in it. You can feel how they're looking out for you. Like they may say, you're on the right path and keep going that way. Well, you might say to yourself, but I want to be there now. Well, where's there? There is all the way along the path. So it's a matter of communication, of what somebody in this world is impatient about, and they want to get there now, all right? Because it's hard. Living in this world feels like walking through sand. Like it's slow motion, and it's you got to take a step, and it's an effort on every count. But that's, we signed up for it. So get over it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And we see and we think just how I used to feel, and maybe you ladies did too, when like 2 years ago you didn't know how to use the board or anything, and now you're just like rocking it, and it's just a process, and so nobody's above anybody else. We're just on our own perfect path, opening like a lotus flower in divine timing, and we all have it. We're like this shell, and the pearls in every single one of us, but it just opens up at different times. And you, Linda, were open from the get-go because that was your path and mission to get through what you had to get through to be the teacher you are. And other people opened up later in life, but it's always been there. Like you've always had it, my dear.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yes.
Okay, we'll do We'll let the guides close the session with their closing message about this whole thing, all right? How fun is that? And here they go. We never know what they're going to say, you guys, so I hope you're ready, all right?
You are all on your own spiritual journey. Using this talking board is only one way you have access to us. We want you to learn how to ask questions properly, because that is the key to the messages received. The messages are neither good nor bad. They just are. It's your own human bias that slants the message. Many times, our messages are not convenient, and you may think we are interrupting your life. This inconvenient guidance is designed to slow you down or stop you from going the wrong way. Stay on the path. We come in truth and love.
Oh, thank you. Beautiful. And does everybody get to see Ray's handsome face at all? A little pop in? Or
Pop in there, Ray.
so people can see
The man behind the curtain.
face? Yeah, the man behind the curtain.
No attention to that man behind the curtain.
They've been saying, by the way, they've been saying this more about the messages are neither good or bad, and that you may not like, it may not be convenient, the messages that come through at any given time, because what we're in right now, we're in something that is it's going to be a new normal. There is no such thing as going back, and there's going to be all kinds of things people have to make adjustments to along the way. And it's going to be uncomfortable in many ways for people to do that. So what they're doing is they're trying to just really get this across. Don't take it personally that, there's a lot of course corrections that are going to be required of each person moving through this new normal. And they just don't want people to give up on themselves and, be okay with it. You're right where you're supposed to be. In fact, you're here. You planned to be here at this time in history, so you wouldn't miss it. So you could be part of this, okay? So you could shine. Maybe for the first time ever in your life, you can come out and be all that you are. Okay, so that's what that's where they're guiding us all to go, is to be that authentic self. Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys, below the video are Linda's links and book and all of that. And please let us know if you've ever tried a talking board, if you have one of the universal channels, if you want to learn, what have you been doing for your spiritual growth? And also leave a comment about what you've learned during this trying times with the coronavirus, if you've blossomed or what you've, what's emerged through you, because we want to hear and keep the conversation going. And we can also, I'll put the Facebook group as well. Definitely give it a try if you've been wanting to connect with spirit. This is a great way. And Linda and Ray do is it still every Tuesday that you do a live?
Yeah, every Tuesday at 6:00 we do Linda's Weekly Guided Insights. Okay, so, and one thing I want to say about this group is what you're going to find out is that you are never alone and always being guided. They've got you. They know how to help you with this. They know how to walk you through the process and get you there in the right way.
Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you, Kathy, Veronica, and Joy. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the messages and showing everybody how it's done. And we look forward to connecting with you all over at the Universal Channel Facebook group.
Sounds
Until-
great,
Thank you for
Marla.
having
Thanks,
us.
Marla.